First thing that I was expecting to happen in this one is problem with the sleep pods.
Of course.
It's we're awake now. We have 90 years to go. No, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
No,
Which I was
was
pretty
just
happy.
hoping for a simple toilet backup. You know, just a simple problem in our
Just something
space
like
movie.
the printer's out of ink.
Can you imagine a space movie where, it's just like trivial issues? Like,
The autopilot's drunk.
Just like dude jams his thumb, and that's like the key thumb for some of the controls, and he like botches a landing
Guys.
because he like got too aggressive playing checkers the night before.
I can't launch the space escape pods because my thumb kind of hurts a
My
little
thumb
bit
kinda
when I put pressure on it, so I can't hit
I
the
would
button.
love like a shower scene where they like scald the shit out of themselves. Like, it's temperamental fucking piece of shit. It's like a $14 billion space
and then the guy
craft.
goes in the next day and it's fucking freezing cold. And
Yeah.
He's like, wow.
Yeah, none of that. Where's the lighthearted?
God, you know what?
you know.
Screenwriters, call us. Okay.
We've
We
got
could write a better
ideas to
space
kill
movie.
people on spaceships.
Hello, Space Cadets, and welcome to this episode of Every Film in the Book. Today, we are going into space, for we must blow up the sun. What is this movie called?
Sunshine.
Sunshine. We watched
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
We watched Sunshine.
2007, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, what a time to be in space.
Hey, Chris Evans was in this movie.
Steve loves that.
I was pretty starstruck the whole time.
Steve has a big crush on Chris
Big
Evans,
crush.
if you didn't know.
Call me, Chrissy. We'll talk.
2007 Chris Evans, not quite it for me.
He was in his douchebag era.
Yep.
Okay, this was when he
Yep.
was playing like
Little
the
douchey.
The little bad
Abercrombie like
Yeah.
tight polo shirts.
A little goatee going on.
Oh yeah, the little shit-eating soul patch.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah, that's the Chris Evans. I'm glad he evolved from.
Yeah.
Yeah, his publicist pleaded with him for
They're-
most of that decade.
They're like, listen, you're a nice guy. Stop taking the douchebag roles,
Seriously.
please.
You're never gonna make it in this town.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, this movie was one of the most generic space movies for about 80% of the film, and then it gets a little crazy.
yeah, that ending really took me for a loop.
I think
Yeah.
I think that's why I remembered this one.
Yeah.
Is because even like it's a spoiler alert. You don't make it if you fly into the sun.
Yeah.
But-
yeah.
It was just kind of neat to see a movie where at the end of it was about what they did for the people back home.
right.
It wasn't like it didn't end with them in space. Like it was like, oh yeah, well they fixed the sun.
Yeah.
Cool. They actually succeeded in the mission.
Are you ready for an
Yeah.
eye-rolling moment from everybody listening and the two people on the couch?
Yeah.
My thought was,
Oh,
would've-
this is gonna be fucking great.
I wanted just like one or two scenes on Earth just to kind of see what the situation was like down there. Because they show us at the end, like it's the frozen wasteland, all that stuff. Kids are still swinging for some reason. But like just a couple of things like, I wonder if they're going to do it. And then like it cuts back like a couple scenes later and they're like, I think they're going to do it. I have hope. I don't know.
Do you think that would have made it more like cheesy though?
I don't know. I just kind of wanted like a little
I
bit
think-
of establishing on Earth just to see like.
So first of all, here we are on Earth, so it's pretty established. Hate to burst your
Steve-
What
bubble.
does Earth
So
look like?
we should just
Steve, look out the fucking window.
this movie just really didn't let me see it through someone on Earth's eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's what you're doing right now, asshole.
No, but more of just like how they got the technology to launch a ginormous fission bomb into the sun and like
Doesn't matter. It's NASA.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't
It's
even think
NASA.
they say
'Cause-
NASA.
Well, it's because like
yeah.
that's like the stuff I liked about some of those other sci-fi movies. Like showing the situation in Interstellar where like the world is crumbling and it's like we have some ties to Earth and it makes their mission that much more important.
Right.
And same in like The Martian, we get the characters down in the meeting rooms and like really trying to figure stuff out, so it makes
I
it
see
more...
that, but those movies came out much later
yeah.
than this movie. So at the time of this movie, 2007, we haven't even been to the moon yet. We haven't even figured out. At this point,
we still haven't been to the moon.
at
It
this
was all a
point,
hoax.
time's not a circle.
We've barely invented electricity.
People don't know that the moon is just a big building. It's a superstructure. Well, there's a lot of things we didn't understand, and I feel like this movie kind of opened the doors to understand those things.
Well, I think it is interesting, though, to have a story that starts in the middle of their mission, because basically by saying that, they're implying that the first however many months it took for them to get there was pretty boring.
Right.
So whenever I see a story like this where it picks up in the middle of something like this where they're already on their mission, it makes it feel like, okay, they're showing us what's important. You know, they're showing
Right.
us the highlight of the story, which is the end.
I'm just
Not so
glad
much
it
the
wasn't
beginning.
like they showed us them in space and then they're like, "Hi, it's me, Cillian Murphy. I'm betting you're wondering how I got here. Well, let me tell you."
They just kind of started the
back.
movie,
Yeah.
which that's
starts.
good. Although I will say, start making space movies that normalize missions working,
Yeah.
because at some point,
You need some successes.
yeah, because it's just like
Right.
technically they were doing UPS's job just in space.
Just dropping
so
off a
in
package.
theory, the only thing that's different is you need to take air with you. That's the only thing that's different from that and the UPS
Okay.
guy.
Well, speaking of the air, so my question is, these they got this huge long ship. This ship is like 400 miles long.
And they love to show.
And they
B-roll
show you
of
how
it.
long this fucking ship is.
It was pretty cool
They
ship.
choose to put the greenery on this spinning fucking thing that's like hanging on the outskirts of this sun shield. I'm like, that's your air. Put that in the back of the thing,
Right.
like where it's most
And lock the
protected. or
door,
s-
yeah. So
Like
Or you think they'd
super-
have like multiple like stations in
Right,
case
like
one
a
of them catches
backup
on
one.
fire?
my thing is technical explanation here. You need to manufacture your own gravity so that the water in the soil acts like.
All right. Counterpoint, could we have made the arms just a little shorter then?
No.
They can still spin,
That's
but just a little
100%
shorter.
valid.
Okay.
But the sunshade wasn't supposed to break.
Yeah, because
Was not.
someone made a mistake.
Yeah. Not supposed to say this. Glad he killed himself because he ruined the whole
unalived
thing.
Michael.
Yeah, no.
I prefer
Jeez.
self-terminate.
He sacrificed
That works,
himself, which is crazy
Yeah.
because I'm
Right.
pretty sure that's the guy that made the ship go where it needed to.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's too bad he shouldn't have fucked it up. He goes, I was juggling so many things, and I'm just like, yeah, you're trying to blow up the sun.
It's like, juggle these nuts, Benedict Wong.
You're
Right.
an astronaut. Did you not think you'd have to multitask
Also,
and think of a lot of things?
how about this? Little portal, shove the bomb through, close portal, done. You could have done that in Michigan.
Doesn't have his freaking Doctor Strange powers, God damn it.
But this was kind of neat where it was stellar cast.
Oh,
yeah, they got
It's
an
a bunch
A-list
of
cast.
heavy hitters.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were all heavy
think they were
hitters at the
big yet.
time. Like
Yeah.
this was a group of heavy hitters that was before, they were in the minor leagues still.
Yeah, like
but
this
Michelle
is-
Yeoh was in it, so like I'm sold, baby. She can be in
Yeah.
whatever movie she wants.
But like she, like Cillian Murphy, like he's coming right off of 28 Days Later.
Yep.
So it's like that's still a very
This was
indie
his like
movie, small, not a huge like release for that. So like he's still
Yep.
making a name for himself. He's not the
Now-
Oscar winner Oppenheimer that he is
Right.
now.
But the 28 Days Later, that was kind of his like break.
I think that was
kinda.
like
that
his
was breakout
yeah.
role type thing.
Because I think
And
he was
I
just
love
doing like
I
foreign
love
films.
28 Days Later. That,
Oh,
like
it's
those are great
fantastic.
movies. The other ones are trash, but they're great movies.
Did you see they're making the new one?
Yeah.
Like 28 years later
They're
or
gonna
something?
fucking ruin it. They're gonna
Probably.
fuck it all up.
Yeah.
They
I'm
always
still gonna
ruin
I'm
it.
still gonna watch it. Keep
Oh,
making it.
Yeah, I mean, I already signed up for the ticket. It's fine.
Yeah.
Pre.
But it was
pre-bought
it was good to see some hungry actors with like, and of course I'm not good at names, but like the captain, he's kind of established in 2007 already.
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh's, she's always been like big.
Yeah,
I don't
she
know
was
if-
in the Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
The captain was literally in Avengers Endgame. He was
Yep.
in a couple other things.
So they've all been in crazy movies,
Right.
you know, as their career progressed. But it was nice to see him kind of just in like a half janky space movie from
Right.
2007.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rose Byrne was in this.
Rose
Yep.
Byrne.
Like famous from the Insidious movie. Like they
Yeah.
got all these great names, but I just feel like I mean, I just want to start by saying I liked the movie. I thought it was good, but I feel like with all these heavy hitters, like they didn't have much to work with. Like for all these like big name actors, like I wasn't really like blown away by any of the performances.
I think it's the writing.
Yeah, I think it was a lot to do that they just weren't really given much.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of felt like they were like, you're on a spaceship, go. Like,
Like, all right, Chris and Killian, fight.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah.
going to tell you why.
you
but
guys
fight.
don't like each other for some reason that we won't explain.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of, character arc, which is, again, it's fine because the point of the movie is we got to get to the sun so we can blow it up.
Yeah, it's like the characters almost took a backseat to the mission. It's like
Yeah.
the mission needed to succeed, so you don't really have to care about like the personal drama and
Yeah.
like the characters because it's a space movie. They're all probably going to die anyway.
Yeah, so we were kind of counting on nobody making it.
Right.
Yeah. So this movie, like I said, it's like 80% sci, 20% fi, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah, it's pretty good way to.
The-
Yep.
the last bit is where it gets a little crazy.
Yeah, and especially the way they shot this last bit with like the crazy filters on the cameras, and it looks like you're like having blurred vision the whole time.
It was getting really weird. I will say before that happened, there was
Yeah.
one point where Steve's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, don't pause it. It's okay. I'll be back. And it was this one stretch of like 3 minutes of just B-roll of the ship. Like, he didn't miss anything.
Timed it
That's
perfectly.
funny.
They were just
That's
showing
funny.
the ship. I think it was actually right before the mishap with the shield happened.
it's when they got to the first ship, like
Yeah.
the original ship.
So they're like docking, I guess, and like getting, I don't know.
Yeah, and by the time I got back, Chris Evans like, I volunteer Cillian Murphy to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was fine with it.
Yeah.
Which I thought, hey man, take that one on the chin. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
like a baller.
Also, while I'm in space, I'm not trying to get the physicist murdered. You know what I mean? Like that's the
Yeah.
guy doing the math.
Yeah,
and
you need the
he
math
can
guy.
control the bomb. But
I can't believe they didn't bring a backup physicist just in
well,
case.
you know, they only had oxygen for so many people, Steve.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
I liked its simplicity.
Yeah.
And I liked that, and then I kept reminding myself, it's 2007. It's
Yeah.
2007. 2007.
popcorn
Actually,
movie.
that's a really
2007.
good point because I was just thinking, I'm like, if I watched this a little bit earlier, I think this
Right.
would have been a great sci-fi
'Cause
movie.
when I-
Pre-Interstellar.
yeah,
When I saw this in high school, I was like, "Did you see what those fucking guys did? They fucking
That's
blew up. They blew up
crazy.
the sun, and now Australia doesn't have 7 feet of snow on it the whole time. Like that's nuts."
can you believe
Now
they
looking
saved
back,
Australia?
Yeah.
with the many leaps as they've made, again, it's you know, we talk about like the 90s CGI,
Yeah.
and like this is 2000s,
Mhm.
so this is in the aughts, and it's like there wasn't any time where I was just like, that looks bad.
There was actually one point
Did
where
you-
the
really?
gold space suit looked a little
Well-
funky when they were floating through space. Again, 2007 CGI is a
yeah.
little
If that's it,
premature.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That was
Yeah.
another thing where I was like, a lot of this is still on a set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they were
Mhm.
actually on a set for a lot of this, and then
Right.
clearly, like they didn't actually make a bomb that big. Like, come on,
Yeah.
like
That's
it wasn't that
CGI.
nuts.
Yeah.
But the CGI was more. It was before everything except the actors was CGI,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
I just like movies better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like when our actors can actually interact with their environment,
Yep.
and it's not just them in a green room like, okay, now imagine you're picking up a cup. We'll add it in post. It's like, no, let the fucking actor pick up a cup.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it's not that big of a deal.
Make it a green cup.
Yeah,
Just give
if-
him something to squeeze, because we as humans, we can tell because we have dexterity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can tell when they're like almost grabbing it, when they it just doesn't look like
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And like I think they give better performances when you're actually in a room with people. Like
100%.
there's that famous clip of what's his name? Ian McKellen on the set of like the Hobbit movies, and they just have him in this green room and he breaks down crying cuz he's like, I don't know what to do. Like, there's nothing here. There's nothing for me to like play off of. There's
Yep.
no people. Like, I'm just hearing voices being thrown at me. So it's like, if you want like solid
Yeah.
stuff, like
Dude in a green box with an earpiece going, this should get you an Oscar. And the guy's just like, I'm in a crazy person's house. This is a nut house.
yeah.
Like,
I do want to talk about Chris Evans' character and the number of times that he should have gotten his skin absolutely burned off of his body that didn't actually happen. Okay, so what?
Space tarps.
Okay.
Space tarps.
Space tarp, sure. So the pressure of space doesn't make your eyes pop out of your head. How does a space tarp stop that?
Well,
he closed his
see,
eyes.
There's
said
no,
so.
There's no, yeah, close your eyes. That's a good one. But it's not instant. They've put things in vacuum, and it's not instant. And you are able to kind of hermetically seal yourself by keeping your asshole puckered and your
You just
mouth
gotta-
closed.
Yeah.
Well, and you be okay. Now, I definitely didn't do any math on it, but for like 3 to 8 seconds that they were in the
Yeah.
vacuum of space, they probably would have been all right because the cold wouldn't have had enough time to kill cells.
Right.
Sure, but then
where-
they were inside with the door down for like 20 extra seconds trying to get the guy back that was floating off, and
That's
probably
that's
would've-
probably where he's fucked.
yeah.
But residual heat coming through, whatever. It's fine. But then when the guy did drift off in space and
Yeah.
then whacked his arm on the thing and he shattered into a bunch of pieces, I was like, thank you for giving me that, because I
Yeah.
want one of those scenes in every space
I just
movie.
wanted him to die so bad that when his arm exploded into 1,000 pieces, I was like, good.
I think you cheered.
Also,
I did.
what an
I-
absolute bitch.
Yeah. He's like, why the
I'm
hell
the
does
captain."
the physicist get that so?
And it's just like, you're acting like a pussy, dude.
Yeah.
We're out here.
Take one for the team.
Yeah.
I was like, if Chris Evans, the only character you've shown us to be like this bullheaded fucking macho piece of shit character, if he's the one who's like, no, Cillian Murphy gets the suits, we're going to hopefully survive, but as long as he survives, we'll be fine.
Also, you don't see too much of that in space. Like, if you're exposed to space for any amount of time, death sentence for that character.
Right.
Yeah.
This was kind of cool where they were like, hey guys, it's a fucking movie. We're trying to blow up the sun.
Yeah.
So Duke
Like,
can,
let's
Duke
stretch
can
the
take
rules
11.
a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I liked that. At the same time, I'm probably not going with them, hitting one last hog crank sesh, and then turning that thing up to full brightness and cooking with the other dudes in the hall. I'm just saying, you can go out way cooler
Yeah.
than just like, it's no.
But I'm just saying, if Matt Damon can launch off of the surface of Mars with a space tarp strapped to the front of his rocket, Chris
Yeah.
Evans can
Yeah.
make it to an airlock wrapped in a space tarp, and I'll accept it.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll
Neil
I'll allow
deGrasse
it.
Tyson said it was okay.
he said it was cool. He did say it was cool.
But yeah, there was that, and there was also the thing where he like put his hand in freezing water,
Like that
I
Freon,
think.
like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
that
the
coolant.
coolant.
Yeah, and then he put his whole body in there because he had to. For some reason, he had to go into the coolant to fix something. I forget
That's
what that
horrible design, yeah.
was. Like what?
Yeah, that's
That's
like,
bad space
You
design.
gotta leave some of this just okay. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But
But good acting for him being like freezing. And
Yeah,
he, was,
he
like,
played it off really
shaking
well.
and-
that's so there was there was quite a bit of space in this space movie, but when they like
Fucking
just
hate you.
amounts of time where
Yeah.
there's just nothing going on.
Yeah,
which
a
I
lot
didn't-
of lulls.
I didn't mind because most of a space mission, you're gonna be bored out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, it's
you don't always
traveling.
have to be running calculations.
Yeah,
Right.
You've
They're out
got
there for years,
GPS,
like-
and it's gonna take 2 years.
Mm.
Take a nap.
Yeah.
It's fine,
Maybe run on the treadmill a little bit.
right?
Make
Do a-
sure your
do a
feet
workout.
skin don't like.
Yeah, get wild.
That's the thing is the skin on the bottom of their feet will just start like peeling off because of gravity. You're not like using.
Oh.
So
Using
your feet skin tries
Yeah.
to turn into the back of your hand skin,
Yeah.
and then when you do use it, it just sloughs off because it's just
Yeah.
like we're not used to this shit.
Yeah.
We're out of
Oh.
here.
It's pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Remind me,
Now you
never
don't wanna
go
go
to
to
space.
space. Yeah.
I never wanted to, but now I really don't want
Bro,
to.
Yeah.
if you, I'm not gonna lie. If you were like, yo, we got an extra ticket, we got to blow up the sun, I'm 100% on that
No,
motherfucker.
listen,
Like,
I've
I'm
seen
that
it-
type of person. Yup, sign me up.
I've
That's
seen
crazy.
Alien. I don't need a space vagina attacking me and laying an egg in my stomach.
That's
and
the
then
only
a
thing
fucking
I
thing
dream
pops
about.
out and kills all of my friends. I don't need that. I'm fine on Earth. I'll touch grass every now and then. It'll be fine.
Well, there are no aliens in this movie,
Yeah.
but there is
There's a-
sun god.
Because
There's
you're
a burnt
unsure.
sun man. Yeah.
Because he survived it a little bit, which means he used one of those poor people as a human shield in order
Well,
to turn the brightness
And he
down.
also
Mm.
survived Rose Byrne
7
stabbing him in the neck
Mhm.
Yeah,
with
but
like a vibrating scalpel.
although when he opened that drawer and 2 of those motherfuckers were missing, I was like, somebody's on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's on the ship. But that was cool that the computer who was trying to get him killed earlier was like, well, we don't have enough oxygen.
Yeah.
Well, how? There's just a few of us here. No, there's one more. You know, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
there's an extra person.
Who's the extra?
And I was
crew
like,
member?
dude made it. I don't know how he got onto the ship.
Yeah.
Probably before, like, he made it onto the ship and then sabotaged it.
Mm.
But at the same time, I liked how they didn't give an explanation because in my head, I go, oh, he got that good son. And, like, kind of turned, like, because he was able to survive for 7 years.
Yeah.
So that's kind of badass.
Yeah, he got that Krypton sun.
So
you know?
he got some good radiation.
Oh yeah.
That hulked him out a bit.
And they don't really explain this at all. He has one line where he says, like, I've been talking to God for 7 years.
Yeah,
or
which
something.
was crazy.
Yeah,
Because I don't think God was talking back.
I think
Yeah.
he was just going a little crazy.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
feel like this whole movie is just a play on people's sanity.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, you get the crazy guy at the end who's, like, killing them all because he thinks he's serving, like, some higher power. Then you got, you know, the biologist who's, like, going through a mental crisis because her lab blew up. And then, like,
Yeah, I didn't
there's
like
a
that.
lot of, like, different, like...
lock in, lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, whew,
tighten
and that's one thing. That's my major complaint. When you have trained individuals acting like a civilian in a high pressure situation, I go, you mean you didn't run this through in the training?
Right? Like, you're not.
Like,
You didn't go over this possibility of death?
You're an astronaut and you're going on a mission that almost guarantees you're going to die.
And that's what,
yeah, like, making it
why
back
freak
is a
out?
luxury.
like some
come
of
on.
the new people that get like during all the Iraq shit, new people would have to come, right?
Right.
Well, they wouldn't like send them out there by themselves with nobody that's not been there for a while.
Right.
It's like they send the one squad with the squads that have been there for a while, and they don't send them to try to like
Yeah, you
do
gotta, like,
crazy.
acclimate.
You got to acclimate to that
Yeah.
kind of situation because even with training, that can go nuts.
Right.
But they all were trained and they'd all been doing this for like a couple years on this ship.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, if they had 57 problems in an hour and 47 minutes,
How many have they had
then
so
they've
far?
already solved 3,000 problems
Yeah.
and are fine. It's like
Yeah.
they should be used to this kind of pressure.
Right.
But the mission was, it was coming to an end and
Yeah, tensions
freaking
are
out.
high. Let's just say
Right?
that.
They're a little high.
But did it work? Yes or
did.
no?
It did.
You think it did?
Well, because the end of the movie shows us that it did.
Okay, so you're going with it worked?
Why do you think it didn't work?
Well, I think it leaves the possibility that that lady who was, that was his sister or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it leaves the possibility. I'm not saying this is what happened, but it leaves the possibility that when the sun comes up a little brighter, that was just after she got that message, and then one day it just seemed a little brighter.
I think that's a theory. I was thinking more along the lines of how, our ozone currently has a hole in it. If you crank up the UV rays on the sun, is that going to do like more damage to the ozone? Is it going to be too much for Earth to handle now because it's gotten used to the lower sun radiation?
And they said restart the sun, but it's not like turning a dial and going, well, we need it at a 5.
Yeah.
It's like we're just going to drop all of the nuclear bomb in it.
And hopefully that
and
works.
hopefully in 8 minutes we don't cook everybody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, those are all good points, and it's just stuff the movie doesn't show us.
Right.
'Cause it's
From
meant
what the
to-
movie shows us, it's the sun just coming up over the horizon,
Yeah.
and it's a happy day.
Which could have
Yeah.
just been a regular ass day.
Right. But, like, they show us
Or
the sun
8 minutes
at
later.
its usual thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, I
Right.
feel like if there was an after the credit scene, it would have been just a bunch of burnt husks
Right.
on
Yeah.
the new
It's
Earth.
like just severely like melted with like water trickling down
Yeah.
the snowbanks, and
yeah,
then
it's like
just
a bunch of birds chirping and a bunch of
the Terminator 2 playground scene.
Oh my
of
God,
just
yes.
skulls flopping around. Yeah,
What?
Would've
Sarah
been
Connor
crazy.
gets melted onto a fence.
That actually brings up the concern of like, the idea of global warming is that, icebergs melt, the levels rise around oceans and lakes and everything. So if they suddenly are going from like an ice age to normal temperatures, isn't that going to cause like a whole bunch of other problems?
well,
with
that's only if
all
the
of that?
population has moved out to the land that's now showing.
Sure. I mean,
Because you can't really change the level of water on the planet. You can just change what state it's in and what location
yeah,
it's
I
in.
think it's more of the extreme from ice age to regular
Oh.
that happened in minutes. That's gonna cause
It's 100% going to be muddy
Yeah.
for a decade.
I'm just
It's gonna
saying.
be
more than a
muddy.
decade.
This is where those deleted scenes on Earth would have came in handy because
Yeah.
they would have shown you they were
Right.
building a bunch of boats in preparation.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody just runs
Everybody's
like
got
Sicily
boats.
or whatever
yeah,
it is now.
Yeah, bunch of
Yeah.
gondolas. Gotta
And
get
that's
around.
that's the thing where people are like, well, when you put ice cubes in water and it melts, it doesn't overflow the glass. And I'm just like, yeah, because most of the glaciers are sitting on land. Bunch of assholes. Jesus.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be interesting to see Sunshine 2, everybody's dead.
Sunshine too, and it's just like 8 seconds of just panning from like big city to big city,
It's just
and no lights are on.
Yeah, they could film
Nobody's
it real
home.
cheap. They just go to Arizona out into the desert and then just pan across, and they're like, the end.
Yeah,
The
you're like,
credits
all
roll.
right, so it didn't work, or it worked too good.
It worked really well. It was like
That's-
turning on a magnifying glass.
It just there's just a hole slowly burning into.
It's just
And as
cutting
it
through.
rotates, the Earth just rotates. It's just
Oh, see, and then you could tie it into like the 2008 movie, The Core, because the
Yeah.
magnifying glass cut a hole through the Earth too, and it superheated the
and
core. and now
right
they gotta send
before
down
this.
there.
This is the catastrophe that Arrivals was trying to prevent.
There we go.
All the space movies connect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Martian, they're out
Yeah.
on Mars trying to populate Mars.
Matthew McConaughey is still stuck behind a bookcase at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't
No,
make it.
Time is a circle.
He didn't make it. He didn't make it.
Marv. Sorry, I really like that movie. It's heartbreaking.
But for, we started the year off with some heavy teenagers killing teenager stuff.
Yeah.
I think this was a good change. It's like it
This
was a
was a
much
fun
lighter
trip.
fare.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly light for the heavy subject
Yep.
material.
right.
I think that it helps that it's a popcorn movie.
Yep.
It's just kind of like, ooh, space. Like it's
Yeah,
more about and I said it's more about the vibes than the
Yeah,
story.
honestly, and the best thing I can say about this movie is the ending, because it goes from like, all right, this is a pretty like color by numbers sci-fi movie, but then that ending hits and you're like, what the fuck did I just
Right?
watch?
What
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this? And I liked how they kind of incorporated some thematic elements that usually show audiences that it's in somebody's head,
Right.
like the camera
the
wobble, the
The sound
light
effects.
tracing, the sound effects, everything's distorted. He didn't say much.
Right.
You never really got a clear picture of him.
Right.
But also, they missed out because everybody was talking about getting to see Nosferatu's wiener.
Oh yeah.
This could have been the original.
This could have been the
decaying,
OG wiener.
the OG decaying guy's wiener. This could have been it.
But
Missed
Uh.
opportunity. Go back in time. 2007.
actually-
I feel
Show
like
us
it would have
this
got burned off.
thing. Oh yeah, 100%.
I can't pee normally anymore.
It's like I haven't
There's just a hole
urinated.
there.
yeah, it's just an open tunnel. No, but this does remind me. There's a movie called Pandorum. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
Yeah.
But it's kind of along this pathway where it starts as one thing, and then when the ending hits, you're like,
This is not the
Okay.
same genre.
yeah. So
Mhm.
it's like maybe we should check that out eventually and kind of keep on the sci-fi train.
Put it on the list.
I don't
Yeah.
mind the sci-fi train.
I love the sci-fi train.
Yeah, you do like the sci-fis.
I like sci-fi.
Yeah.
But this was a good one that was a little older. It's kind of fun going back and watching
Yeah.
movies that it's like, okay, it was still, early 2000s, and I feel like people draw a line unnecessarily at the year 2000.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like nothing fucking changed.
Yeah.
It was just
99
like,
to 2000
yeah,
was basically the same.
it's the same.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people, because we're quarter century past that now, and people use that as a mark. But like they don't really use like 1975 as a huge mark for cinema.
Right. Right.
But they just unnecessarily draw a line where it's like, oh, that was before 2000.
Mm.
That's an old movie. That's not
Yeah.
gonna be it. Some of the best movies were made in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And this was one of those movies that where you can watch it in 20 years later, and it's still like a good Friday night movie to throw on.
Yeah.
It holds up.
It holds up, but also it didn't try to do anything. Like they didn't try to reinvent space movies.
Right,
They didn't
right.
try to reinvent how there was altercations with the crew. Like no shit. It's like
Yeah.
they did the same thing, but they did it differently in a way where it was like, okay, I can see what they were trying to do, and then the ending is just like, I feel like they filmed a regular ending and they were like,
Not crazy
do
enough.
that, but just crank it to infinity,
Yeah.
which was kind of neat.
Yeah. I will say out of all of the space movies that I enjoy, I wouldn't put this anywhere near my favorites. I feel like it's pretty mid for a space movie,
Mhm.
but still worth a watch.
Yeah, I mean, hell, invite your friends over Friday night, crack a couple beers, get a little silly.
And
watch some sunshine. You
Pop
might
some
you might have some
nobody's
fun.
like it was good movie, but there's better movies.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
obviously.
definitely better sci-fi.
If you
but
want a
it's-
good sci-fi, go watch Arrival, go watch The
Yeah,
Martian,
We've
go
done
watch
a bunch of
Interstellar.
them,
Yeah.
and we're talking about
Our
movies that are done
episodes.
recently.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a good 2007 sit down, pop some popcorn,
With some
and just lay back and enjoy the journey you're on.
with
Like,
some names that you'll recognize
Yes.
now,
yeah,
which I thought that was cool because I was just
Mm.
like, man, I forgot all of those people. Like I knew Cillian Murphy was in it because that that was kind of the deal. He was kind of important in the movie, but I forgot about everybody else. Like I
Yeah.
forgot Chris Evans was in
yeah,
it,
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Cast
like
is great,
he
yeah.
showed up, and I was just like, oh right, and then Michelle Yeoh comes in, and then the other character, I'm like, I forgot like how big these guys are now.
Mm.
And this was kind of before that. And I like watching movies that like, oh, this was his start. This was one of his first few movies that
Yeah.
he did. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
cool to see.
Very
yeah.
cool.
Check it out. I think it's a pass for most of us.
Sure.
It's a fun little sit and enjoy. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next time on every film in the sci-fi book. Maybe we won't do
gonna-
sci-fi next time.
We're gonna float off into
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, we're gonna float now, but only
Floating.
Michael, help!
Bye.
I'm not helping. I'm not helping at all.